Hello, everybody, and welcome to Darren Augustus Plays for the People. It's been a while, so it's been a minute since I turned around and posted something. It's been like 2 weeks, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or it might be 3 weeks now. I'm not sure, but it's been kind of a hectic last couple of weeks or whatnot. I just recently started going back to work. I was furloughed the entire time during this COVID outbreak, so I was out of work for like 4 months. I think it's been 3 or 4 months. And now I'm finally going back to work. And then on top of that, I just recently got my new laptop. I got an HP Omen. It's really nice, and I can play a lot more games on it. I can play a lot of games that I couldn't even play before on my last laptop. And yeah, I've just been kind of running around trying to, play on other folks' laptops and stuff like that. But I finally got me a pretty nice laptop. And I think here in about a month or so, I'm actually going to try and build me an actual gaming PC. I wanted to wait until maybe next year while I get some things sorted out, but due to some unforeseen things that happened here recently or whatnot, I can actually work more on that. So I may actually do something. I may actually go ahead and build it and just post it online, post the video online, or I might just actually do a live stream of it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to get things set up for that. But that's for the little bit distant future, in the next couple months or so, not right now. But for right now, I just want to focus on some of these other games. And I wanted to play a little bit more of a political game since the last game I played, Suzerain, did pretty well. So yes, For the People is about you playing as a mayor in a fictional communist country, I guess you could say, socialist country or whatnot, and you happen to basically balance the power. It's very Suzerain-esque, except instead of you being the president, this time you're just a mayor. So, but there's a lot of little unique aspects I like about it. There's a little bit more of a management aspect to it as well. You have to manage resources and things like that. You have to send agents out on missions to conduct things throughout the town and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty interesting. I liked it. I think the only issue I had with it was just some grammatical errors and some structure errors, and also I think I've just been spoiled by Suzerain because of the codex and stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. This is a pretty good game. This is actually the third or fourth time I've recorded it because I've had issues with sound and stuff like that. I'm actually recording this after the fact that I've recorded it, and this is the next day. But I also just want to comment that I am aware that it is going to be pretty loud. You might not be able to hear me in certain parts. This is the reason why I'm re-recording the beginning, because you can't hear me at all in the beginning. It doesn't get that bad throughout the game, but in the beginning when I was trying to talk about the game and so on and so forth, it was pretty loud. So, and I can't adjust the sound settings at all. But yeah, this is going to be For the People. I'm going to leave the link down in the description to the Steam store page, and if there is a actual game page for the company, I think it's Berserk, I think if it is, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to leave a link to the Steam store page, so if you want to check it out, by all means check it out. It's a pretty good game. So anywho, let's get to it. Corvin Empire that had exploited working people failed and gave a chance for a better future for all common people all over the world, regardless of their gender, skin color, and social status. We believe that the whole world will follow us, but our hopes for a world revolution and a brighter future were not to come true. We were alone. All these years, the country was wisely guided by our Communion Working Party, Comrade Joseph Steele, the General Secretary of the CUWP, and the Chairman of the Supreme Council of the Union of Communes, has ruled our state for the last 15 years. It was a surprise for all of us when, on the anniversary of his election to this post, during the 20th Party Congress, he announced the appointment of Comrade Guy Berry, a young and energetic reformer, as the Chairman of the Commune Executive Committee. I will never forget Comrade Steele's face staring at me from over on the news. It was like he was looking into my soul. We all were covered by the feelings of changes we had to go through, but I could not even guess how quickly I would be dragged into what was happening. My name is Francis River. I'm 26. I graduated with honors from Corventon Institute of Management and National Economy, and after that I joined CUWP, where I've been an active member of its Allstat department for the last 3 years. The phone rang suddenly on the evening of September 11th. Central Committee of the CUWP called me. I was told that according to the new course policy, I got into the staff rotation program as a worthy CUWP member and an outstanding alumnus of Corventon Institute. That's how I found myself in Iron 1. Iron 1 was founded in Corvin Empire in 1888 near the Wolfram Deposits. It has been known as Blackmount then. It was a small miners' town, which our glorious Orange Revolution turned to a leading industrial city with almost 50,000 citizens. Almost half of them are representatives of the Kent people. Others are Corvinian. I was appointed as the head of the city committee. I've become the ruler of this town. I have to move to my new office today. Wednesday, 14th September. Someone's calling you. Pick up the phone. This is from Helen. Comrade River, Colonel John Chester came to visit you. Yes, thank you. Invite him in. I'm glad to meet you at last, Comrade Francis River. Good morning, Comrade Colonel. Take a seat, please. Would you like a cigarette? Much obliged. And it's cozy here. None of what I got. All the dozens of posters, hundreds of handbooks, thousands of regulations. I always thought it was like that only in the army. I sympathize. Yep, but you're the one who deserves sympathy here. Why do you think so? You were assigned to a real nest of vipers full of slippery, servile, greedy for benefits proletarians. I'm afraid you're going a bit too far. Our country was founded on the principle of defending the proletariat's happiness. Our country was created for the happiness of all, but in the Iron One workers wants to be happier than the rest at the expense of you and me as well. Yeah, you run a tight ship, of course. I remember about business. I was hinting at it. The thing is that the workers in our country are hogging the covers, and their demands for medical insurance don't take into account harmonious existence with other strata of our society. They don't take us into account. The police need the support of the city committee, and if they don't forget us in such a deplorable situation, we in turn won't forget you. Now, I encountered this situation the first time I played this game. The only problem I have with this is that this is like the first meeting that we have, and it seems like this meeting should have happened at a later point, which I'll get into. There's a later point where you have to make certain decisions about where to put money into the budget and so on and so forth, and you meet everyone except for him. So I don't know whether that's intentional or what, but it just seems like the developers would have put that in that particular position, but you know, whatever. What you're talking about looks like the plotting of the counter-revolutionaries. I think I finally understand what you mean. I can promise you full support of the city committee. You just need to dial my number, and I will do my best to normalize the situation in the city. I'm going to pick the same decision I chose last time, which was to not make any promises, and you'll see what happens. So, you consider me a liar, Comrade River? I meant that. I understand what you meant perfectly. To portray the head of the police, a liar. You will live to regret your decision. So yeah, the head of the police is not too happy. I'm going to assume though, if I keep regional support high, maybe that won't backfire on me. Then again, it could still backfire on me. Let's see. Respond to official appeals from citizens and city services. I wonder if this is random, so I'm pretty sure it's not random, but we'll see. Urgently, top secret, code orange. I hope my letter won't be intercepted. Comrade head of the city, I believe you understand this document must not fall into their hands. You may ask, who are they? Oh, so far they don't get to me. I can report you. Our glorious city became a seat of a conspiratorial unit of capitalists and their sympathizers. This filthy sect that glorifies the profits is based at the address Proletarian Strength Street, Building 5. Once I've seen the handing out of banned books to the children and showing them pictures that besmirch our union. Hurry up. We must not delay, otherwise they will corrupt the city from within. Yours, Comrade Alvin Matstney. Now, the last time I did this, I went ahead and chose to send the police. I'm not going to send the police this time, so I'll send this to the trash. Later, you were told that a small charity that buys books for children from the orphanage of Iron 1 is located at the address pointed by Comrade Masseny. Not a capitalist unit. So yeah, if you send the capitalist unit, the people will not be happy. So yeah. Alright, on to the next one. I wish you a long life. My name is Meyerson, Mark Meyerson. My parents are the distinguished first category engineers. I followed in their footsteps and have worked at the Wolfram plant for 10 years, so I earned an apartment in a good district. Yes, I am used to speaking honestly and plainly because I am not afraid of my words. That's why I'm writing this. It has long been clear for me that the plant that ensures life in Iron 1 strangles it at the same time. Of course, we can't just close it. People need work. But we can't control the waste discharged into the city's water reservoirs. The river is spoiled, but at least it is running. But the waste is now discharged into the pond, our pond. It is absolutely unprecedented. They discharge tanks of shit at night and think that they are not uncovered. Yes, of course, what kind of fools that they think we are. I used to admire the pond almost every morning. The swans used to live there. Now it hurts to look at this puddle that is unacceptable even for frogs. Send the inspection to the plant or do something else, but make the administration reflect on the consequences of their deeds. I count on you. Some of this is a mouthful, and some of this is just a lot of reading. And of course, the last time I also chose to go ahead and send the inspection crew, and I'm going to do it again. So, you decided to stop the ecological mess. The internal investigation on the plant showed that the dumping of hazardous chemicals to the pond was an individual initiative of one of the middle-level employees. He heard a rumor about the testing of water in the river. Such a decision doesn't look like the one that may be taken on the middle level, but you have no evidence for the opposite. One way or another, the pond is saved. Probably after some time, it will regenerate, and the swans will live there again. So we can do a little bit for the environment there. Okay, next one up. Comrade River, I write to you with great sorrow. Yesterday, a band of young Kentish attacked my granddad. These scoundrels beat him nearly to death. I confess, my granddad could somehow have maybe offended them. He is an old-school Corvinian and doesn't always watch his tongue. But is it a reason to break his fingers and smash his face? I filed a report to the Integrity Division, but they denied it. Perhaps they are afraid of this accident, afraid of ethnic tension or something like that. I beg you, for my troublesome granddad, find the perpetrators. It cannot be forgiven. So, in the last time I did this, I think I chose to just ignore it. I don't really remember what happened, but I did choose to ignore it. And the reason why I ignored it was because of this right here. It says it'll deduct 1,000 from your treasury, and as you can see, we have 2,000K. That kind of confused me because, you know, yeah. But it doesn't take off as much as you think it'll take off. So I'm actually going to choose to not be a part of it, but I should help the granddad. He deserves quality treatment in a regional hospital, so I'm going to send him to the hospital. Comrade Marburg went to recover in the hospital, in the special hospital. It should have a positive effect on his health. Johanna is very grateful to you. Okay? So there we are. What else do we have left here? This is from the party's regional committee. We would like to inform you that the first experimental elections to the municipal self-government bodies are to be held as part of the implementation of Comrade Steele's new course. The success or failure of this event will determine the elections on other levels as well. Of course, only approved candidates should be allowed to participate. There should not be any dissidents, any people with tainted bloodlines. We do not need any blackguard descendants in power. However, it should be noted that it is strictly recommended not to appoint party officials or prominent social activists as alternative candidates. We therefore encourage you to arrange a search, selection, and training of the citizens who meet our requirements. Their task is to become candidates, actively run their campaigns, and lose with honor in case of failure. Open disrespect to the authorities and throwing a match are equally unacceptable. This task can be carried out by ourselves, but as the head of the city, you are much more informed and have ample room to maneuver. You have more than enough time. So, this is one of these situations where I kind of wish we had more choices here, I do want to hold the election. I just kind of wish that there was some way to perhaps be like, well, we can endorse it, but we also want to turn around and, allow just about everybody to do certain things. But I'm guessing that's not this type of simulation game or this type of political sim. Also, there isn't a codex or anything to kind of inform me of certain, lore and things like that. Kind of like how it was in Suzerain, where you had little lore bits and you could bring up the Wikipedia or the not Wikipedia articles and stuff like that. So this doesn't really give me a whole lot of information to work with, so yeah, I kind of wish there was something more like that. There is a codex that kind of talks about certain characters that you're going to run into and you're going to meet over the course of the game, and some of you that you just haven't met at all. But yeah, I wish there was something that kind of talked about a little bit more about what some of these terms are and what some of the history of this nation is. The party says you have to, so Frank says yes. You started preparations for the elections. Now the insidious blackguards do not have the slightest chance to get the leadership positions. I wonder if the blackguards are kind of reminiscent to Miles' red guards or whatnot, so perhaps that's what they're going for there. Not sure. Head of the city committee, Francis River, on the line. Hello, Comrade River. This is Jack Chester, the head of the Cloudsville from Metallurgic Plant. Hello, Comrade Chester. Glad to meet you. And I'm so glad. Congratulations on your appointment as the head of the city committee. Can you spare me a minute? Certainly. Go ahead. Comrade River, I got a call from the regional committee. They asked to convey that since you are now the head of our glorious city, you need to speak to the workers of the plant. That's strange. Why'd they call you, not me? Apparently they decided to contact me directly so that I could take on the organization immediately. I'll pick you up tonight at about 7 o'clock. Looks like I don't exactly have a choice. I'll be waiting for you, Comrade Chester. Goodbye, Comrade River. Day is over. You may leave. So some other parts will come in play later on. There's the map here. This map is kind of interesting because it's not just a map that kind of shows you the city in general. There'll be particular parts that you can actually manage, and there'll be particular incidents that you can actually manage. I guess the best thing I can kind of give an analogy for, or kind of give some type of example for, is if you ever played This Is the Police, how it had the city and you had to manage certain parts. That's how this is going to work. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah. And we have the newspaper, the Iron Herald. I won't go over this. Only thing this is basically just talking about is just the fact that I just got recently elected. Some little lore bits, but I'll leave that on screen there. So if you want to pause it, you can go ahead and look at everything. So, yeah. And I think that is enough time. Yep. All right. And we will go ahead and complete our day. Also, this is the dossier I was talking about. It kind of goes over certain people and what they do, their nationality and such. But again, there isn't anything that actually talks about like the history of nations, or the reason why the Kentish population is, there's this ethnic tension. I guess it's just ethnic tensions for just reasons. So I would like something like that. But again, I still think it's pretty good. So I guess you kind of get enough of an idea to just go off of. But all right. So I got plus 11 as far as the, I think that's the approval for the region. And then this is the different districts of our city. So. Good evening, Comrade Chester. I also really like this art style. Yes, it's a really great evening, Comrade Head of the City Committee. How do you feel about your new post? I need time to settle into it. I feel like a stranger here. Well, Francis, it all goes away. Have you prepared a speech? Yes, to tell you the truth, I'm a little worried. I've never had a chance to perform in public. Never mind, they're just workers. Actually, they don't care about your speech. And what's all this for? A mere formality, but it's important. Oh, since we've already arrived. After you, Francis. My dear comrades, proletarians, I'm glad to be with you today. to see your bright faces. Your hard work is the pride not only of our city, but also of the entire Union of People's Orange Communes. I swear in front of all people gathered here to fulfill my duty to the citizens of Iron One, and to work so that the party will be proud of the results as much as it is proud of you. Thank you, comrades. Again, what type of speech is this? Like, yeah, you should have did more. Should have did more. But I guess short and sweet is also fine. Great speech, Francis. You were worrying about nothing. Now it's my turn. Comrade River, I need to talk to you urgently. Hello? And who are you? My name is Walter Weiss. I'm a workers' union rep. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Comrade River. We have a difficult situation in the plant. It's caused by medical insurance. Why do you think so? Your predecessor, Comrade Lichbowski, never gave us any answers. This is my third day here, Comrade Weiss. And that is why we decided to meet you personally. We ask you to review the reform. Comrade Weiss, I'm sorry, but we have to go now. I'm sure he'll get it sorted out. Another day. And we run away from the scene. So as you can see, that's obviously going to be a problem at some point. Ah, Miss Honeypot. I feel like she's going to be a problem at some point. Good morning, Francis. Good morning, Helen. Meetings with the heads of city departments are scheduled for today. Lieutenant Colonel Bayer from the fire department has already arrived. Well, let him in. That look always just... something about that look. It's just funny to me. Also, this dude in his Stalin uniform is just kind of funny to me too for some odd reason. Comrade River, good morning. And good morning to you, Comrade Lieutenant Colonel. Good Lord, the formalities. In order to not waste either of our time, I'll get straight to the point. Firefighters in our city are in an acute need of practically everything. There's only a handful of cars in working condition. My people drive to the calls praying to at least get to the place of the incident. If a serious fire really would happen in the city, we won't be able to cope with it. We'll be lucky if we could even at least contain it. We've got barely enough money for salaries and Social Security. I hope that I clearly conveyed the seriousness of the situation, and you will take it into account when allocating budgets. I really hope that I will be able to help you, but you must understand that I have to hear everyone else's as well as have a clear picture of the situation in the city. The situation in the city. The situation is that here is located one of the largest metallurgic plants in the country, which equipment wear and tear doesn't reduce the risk of fire. I won't be able to cope with a fire in such a huge and decrepit enterprise. You're a man from far off shores, but I think you're able to assess the scale of the disaster if the whole city would suddenly be out of work. I share your concern, but the situation is complicated not only for you, so I will not give you premature promises. Copy that. I'll wait for your final decision. Goodbye, Comrade River. What? Comrade River, Carl Beckett, the chief doctor of the First City Hospital, is waiting his reception. Okay. Good afternoon, Comrade River. Good afternoon, Comrade Beckett. You can call me Carl. I really don't like all these formalities. Excuse me, Comrade Beckett, but I'm probably young enough to be your son. Well, as you wish. I hope that in the future we'll be able to overcome these prejudices. It's just respect, Comrade Beckett, nothing more. Respect to you and your profession. Oh, I can go for hours talking about how respect is earned by deeds and not by age, but I'm afraid we've got other business to talk about. I'm listening to you, Comrade Beckett. You'll probably be surprised, but I will not try to beg for funding. Talking about troubles and hardships. Although dramatizing is an old habit of the heads of the departments of our city, I would like to talk about something else. About the success of our city hospital. With your honorable predecessors, Comrade Lechbowski, we introduced a new package of the medical insurance for workers of the Klaus Wolfram plan. Now, common working people can get medical care in full. Sounds great, Comrade Beckett, but you didn't come here to boast, did you? You're right. We really want to extend the new package to all civil servants of our city, and we can't do it without the city budget. I clicked on that. Oh please, I just refuse to exaggerate. We have enough funds for the basis of needs, but it always could be better. Well, sounds reasonable. I'll think about it and let you know about my decision in the next few days. Then goodbye, Comrade River. Goodbye, Comrade Beckett. So he wants Medicare for all. Okay. What? Comrade River, Jean Kipler, the head of the Livelihood Committee, is here. My God, there are so many of them. I can't keep up with all this stuff. What should I answer? Tell her that I'm out for lunch. We'll be done. I mean, come on, dude. You only interviewed like 2 people. Like, really? And you're stressed already? Alright, let's deal with some more decisions. Dear Comrade River, my name is Maya and I am 10. I write to you because you are head of our city and I'm sure you are very good and a very kind man. I don't want to ask for myself, but I ask for tiny animals who live in Iron 1. They are very sad now because people don't feed them because they have little money. I love puppies and kitties very much and I always wanted to help them. Can you help them and build a shelter for them? I hope I don't ask too much. I believe you will help Comrade River because you are big and a kind man. Send me something as you answer. Thank you very much. Okay. So, I mean, you do need animal shelters and stuff. You don't want just animals wandering around everywhere. So, I'll go with this. You built a shelter for animals using budget funds, and that pleased Little Bohm and other tender-hearted citizens. However, the Region Committee doesn't approve of such familiar spending of the budget money. I'm sure they don't. Next. Dear Comrade River, it is not a secret that the ethnic question is very acute in Iron 1. I'm Kentish, you're Corvinian. That would be a problem for many of our fellow citizens. But is it really that hard to understand each other? I don't think so. I think our nations can continue to live in peace. In an effort to emphasize that I am going to apply for a placing of a monument to Kentish heroes of the Civil War. I designed it, especially for a city center. Yes, some of the citizens' reactions will be ambiguous. Many Corvinians still think that our heroes fought for independence from the old empire. It is definitely wrong. Kentish revolutionaries such as Stephen and Ben Deere fought for equality and social justice not worse than Klaus Wolfram himself. That's why I think that my initiative will strengthen the understanding between our nations. The draft of the monument is attached. Now, this is one of those situations where, again, I wish I had more information on the Kentish, what happened to them, why there's this, big scuffle between the two ethnicities or whatnot, but again, I don't. So, but I still will go ahead and let them have the statue. I also wish I had more idea of what the statue was going to be and stuff. So, permission for the good lord. Permission for the construction of the Kentish Revolutionaries Monument was really questioned by citizens. However, only time will tell. Will the monument fit the city's architecture or not? And we have 2 more things here. Let me introduce myself. I am Henry Johnson, Colonel of the 17th Rifle Division, retired. I have honorary awards and even a certificate of honor from General Winterstay himself. I would like to report that I am extremely concerned about the military patriotic training of the young generation of the UPOC. In my day, everyone since childhood knew that they had hard but glorious work to do for the benefit of the commune, and they made sure that they were ready for it. It was so rewarding to watch the trim, neat, and well-dressed young men merrily marching to their weekly volunteer work. And now what? There's slackers, slobs, and layabouts all around. All the modern louts do nothing but hanging out in the residential buildings, playing some guitar rubbish and drinking cheap liquor. If those things happen in my unit, oh, it is useless. Those bastards do not listen to us anymore. A couple of weeks ago, I tried to chase such bad elements away from my residential building, but they seized my stick and almost beat me. Me, a garrison service veteran. Such a disgrace. I had to call the police. Even a retard could figure it out. Connivance is the blame for such demoralization. We should have looked out for the boys better. We gave them too much spare time, allowed them to walk around in rags, grow hair, listen to some shit music. All of this needs to be stopped. In my leisure time, I was working on a plan that would help to eliminate the signs of moral degradation, and I came to the conclusion that we need to establish a whole system of patriotic institutions for all ages. Discipline and socially useful work are exactly what the future workers need. I propose to start with an exemplary camp for 100 to 200 youngsters aged 12 to 16. I will personally take responsibility for the organization. It is crystal clear that I have enough experience. Now, this is one of these decisions where I actually kind of agree with the whole concept of it, of, giving kids something to do and stuff like that. It's something that I think we should actually do in, real life. And, I was in ROTC myself when I was in school. And it is something that I do appreciate because you do learn a lot about certain things. You learn a lot about the Constitution and laws and so on and so forth. And that's just things that you don't actually typically learn about unless you go to a really good school or you go to a college and focus on that specifically. So I do think certain organizations like that would be useful in order to give kids something to do. And, of course, it's paid for by the government. So typically it's well funded sometimes. But I don't agree with this guy being in charge of it. But I do agree with the existence of the group. So I wish there was a middle ground here where you could choose to make this group, but have somebody else take control of it. But even still, I'll make the organization. This is a nice idea. It's better to march than to break windows. You enthusiastically supported Johnson's idea, and he fervently engaged in starting the camp. Soon it became clear that pulling out weeds in the retired colonel's garden is the most socially useful activity. So yeah, not a whole lot accomplished there. Comrade River, it's time to finally do something about the metal junkyards. Forgive my emotionality, if you mind. Again, I don't know if that's a word. But it's simple. It's simply unbearable. They take rails, pipes, and even bundles of cut wires, and don't have any question to those who bring it. They don't care that the buildings are left without electricity, that the railroads will have to buy new rails to replace the stolen ones. It has never happened before. Back then, anyone who'd even the slightest idea of bringing something stolen would immediately be handed over to the police. Now it's ridiculous to even think about it. Yes, I understand. The plant needs raw materials, and recycling is good, and so on. But everything has its limits. Drunkards are pulling our city apart in order to earn some money, and we are silently repairing the ruined property. It seems to me that you can simply prohibit taking clearly illegal scrap and fine again in case of violation. I'm even ready to head a commission that will supervise the enforcement of the ban. Now, in this particular choice, I think I chose a middle ground. I felt like there wasn't a need for another organization to turn around and deal with this, but I just let the integrity division take care of it. I didn't really like the result because I think the end result was just like the integrity division dealt with it, but they didn't really enforce it for real. So I'll go ahead and make another organization in this particular case. So we'll see how this goes. It's just one of those things where it's just like, it's so redundant. It's kind of like here in the United States where if you're a member of Congress or, the Senate or anything like that, then it's just like you are a senator, you end up on a committee, the committee has subcommittees, those subcommittees has committees, and it's just like, what's the point after a while? But anywho, I like the initiative. Approved. You have set the collection rules for scrap metal recycling in Iron 1 and financed the creation of a commission that Kipler proposed. You doubt that everything worked at its fullest, but the cables are really cut rarer. So, and as you probably can tell, there's some grammatical issues here. So, Miss Honeypot. Francis? And who turned up this time, Helen? No one, it's just me. I noticed that you hadn't eaten anything, so I made some oatmeal for you. And I hate oatmeal. I just do not like oatmeal at all. It's something that I can eat, but I don't prefer it. So, Helen, you're embarrassing me, honestly. You shouldn't have bothered that much because of me. Francis, I can't eat one more oatmeal. You have no choice. You really know how to convince a man, Helen. Thank you very much. Ask me anytime. By the way, Helen, you must have been head over heels in work all day too. You can take a day off tomorrow. Well, Francis, I'll think it over. The party has a mission for your agents. Mission goal. So yeah, this is what I mentioned before about you all. You'll have different missions and certain goings-ons in the town that you'll have to deal with, and it'll highlight a building and then you can click on it and there will be a mission. So let's see what this one is. The ethics committee of the party has received several anonymous messages pointing out the unacceptable behavior of Comrade Kevin Brody, the editor of the social development department of the Iron Herald. He is being accused of unpunished harassment towards female interns, which sometimes lead to utterly obscene actions. These accusations are too serious to be ignored. But starting an official investigation based on unverified data appears to be undesirable. The party instructs you to address this delicate question, determine the validity of the accusation, and report the collected data to the regional committee. So, I'm going to send an agent, and it will be my lady here. So you'll have different agents, and they are good at different things, and it does help to actually read each one of these to make sure that they kind of fit what you're going for here. So in this particular case, he's picking on female co-workers and such, so we should probably send a female co-worker or a female intern, air quote, in order to turn around and see if he takes the bait. Now, the next part I'm not too sure about, but we'll send Catherine in. So, Catherine Hirsch, 22 years old, Kentish, born in Corventon, medium height, fiery red hair, has a small white scar on her upper lip. Catherine has an ordinary appearance, but a rather pleasant one. Hirsch is a member of the 12th Orange Cell, an activist. She is a student of the Faculty of History of Allstate University, is currently on academic leave. Single. Catherine came to Iron 1 to visit her family during vacation. She is sociable, easily gets people to like her, with rare exceptions. Catherine is fond of alpine skiing, the area of her scientific interest, the history of ancient coastal republics. So yeah, we're going to send Catherine to deal with this situation, or at least to see if he takes the bait. And we'll hear about what happens tomorrow. What now? Hello, Comrade River. My name is Gene Kepler. I'm head of the Livelihood Committee. Hello, Comrade Kepler. Take a seat. Thank you. Sorry for the wait, Comrade Kepler. I had my lunch. It's all right, Comrade River. I used to wait for weeks when the head of the city committee was Comrade Lichbowski. Was he really that busy? He was busy taking care of his beloved self in the chair, which is now yours. That helped him in his self-passion. I'm really happy that he is finally out. It's too bad that the only formal reason is a pension, a reason you'd prefer. Comrade Lichbowski was looking for any benefit whenever he could. Even in the restrooms, I'm afraid, he would first seek money. I wouldn't say that his work has had any good impact on our town, but it doesn't matter now. Justice is always significant, Comrade Kepler. If only everybody in this country thought the same way. We have to get to the point, though. The wear and tear of the municipal heating system is about 40%. We must change pipes now. Otherwise, hundreds of families will remain without heating this winter. Furthermore, the city needs to buy snow clearing equipment for the coming winter season. Alright, I'll consider what I can do. You're not the first person today who asked for financing. Thank you, Comrade River. I think you, unlike your predecessor, can really make the right decisions. Goodbye. Alright, so I think we've pretty much addressed everybody now. And I think that's it for the day, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. I guess we'll go out and have a night on the town. Okay, we got some more approval from the regional party, but we will end the day. Yes, can you imagine? He just left me without explaining anything. It's so painful to see all this. This horrible indifference to me. I'm so angry at this ungrateful man. How could he do this to me? It's really awful. He shouldn't. Hello. Is this your first time here? Yes, I'm new in town. Nice place. So you're new here, just like our new head of the city committee. And you should try our fresh light beer. It was brought this morning. Yes, thank you. A pint, please. As for the head of the city committee, let me introduce myself. Francis River. So you were... Hello, comrade, head of the city hall. And here comes another honeypot. Sorry for eavesdropping, but... Comrade River? That's such a pleasant meeting. It's mutual. I've always thought that only the elderly can take up leadership positions. Well, I think you heard that the party set a course towards to reduce the nation. I'm a Dormer, by the way. There's no need to call me formally. Probably no kin to Natalie Dormer. Then call me Frank, Emma. What makes you so upset? You know, Francis, some men just don't appreciate what we do for them. This is so mean. But let's stop talking about them. I don't want to spoil the evening. And here's to this evening. I haven't had such a nice time for a long time, Frank. Maybe it's worth repeating. Tomorrow, for example? Then at the same time and at the same place? Same bat time, same bat place? It is now Friday. What now? Also, is this the map from Avatar? It looks kind of familiar. It looks like the map from Avatar. Good morning, Francis. Hello, Helen. I suppose you decided that you don't need a day off? Oh, I'd rather take another day off, if you don't mind. Furthermore, you didn't file official papers about allocating the budget. It's not an easy task, so I'll never forgive myself for leaving you without my assistance. Alright, Helen. So what official papers should I file? It's about allocating the budget, Francis. Funds are limited, and you have to choose between two departments. Well, you have to choose only two departments to increase funding for. After all yesterday's meetings, have you decided who needs these monies more than others? Okay, so in this one, I am going to choose pretty much the same thing. I'm going to choose the fire committee because there's a plant here. You need a good fire department, otherwise you're going to be kind of screwed. You don't want a Chernobyl situation going on. Good. You need to choose the second one. It seems to me that this department really needs funding. And I chose the Livelihood Committee because they're going to be the ones providing the heating for people in the city. Now, I'm also kind of conflicted about this too because I do think that the people in the city need health care, but I guess it's something that I can't do right now. It's also one of these things too, where it's like, I feel like if I gave people the health care and didn't increase the Livelihood Committee situation, then if the winter comes and I still can't do anything about the Livelihood Committee situation, then that's just going to put a huge strain on the budget because of us putting, all the people on this new healthcare thing. So hopefully I can just reduce hospitalization by having a good living situation for people in the city. So all right, Francis, I'll handle the rest myself. Just that look. Every time she leaves, it's like she's up to something. Yes? Comrade River, you have a call from the head of the Livelihood Committee. Okay. Hello, Comrade River. This is the Livelihood Committee. Good evening, Comrade Kipler. You proved that you are much more responsible for your duty than your predecessor. Thank you very much for the allocation of the budget. If only I could help you, ask me anytime. Thank you for your proposition, Comrade Kipler. I hope we can solve many of the town's problems. Goodbye, Comrade River. Comrade Kipler. Comrade River, you have a call from the head of the fire committee. All right. Hello, Comrade River. This is Lieutenant Colonel Bayer. Hello, Lieutenant. I'm calling to express my great thanks for taking my request seriously. I'm in your debt. If only I could help you somehow. In short, you have my number. I'll take that into consideration, Comrade Bayer. I said everything I wanted to say. Goodbye, Comrade River. Goodbye, Comrade Bayer. All right. Oh, and let's see the update of what's going on in our little mission here. The agent got into the newspaper disguised as an intern and tried to find out the truth about Brody's behavior. It was a success. He found out that the anonymous accusations are true, and Brody really bothers young women who get into the editorial office. So now we have to choose how we're going to tackle this situation. Now this one I'm not too sure about, but it says something about Gene Kipler has sent a more qualified agent, so you no longer require Helen's friend's help. Sylvester Bayer has sent a more qualified agent, so you no longer require Helen's friend's help. So yeah, I'm not too sure about what that means in the context of this, but okay. Now, last time I chose this, and I matched somebody who was not a good diplomatic wise. So let's see about these two. Maybe they can help me out. Adeline Bray, 61 years old, gray neat hair, medium height, suffers from arthritis, Corvinian, born in Iron 1. Adeline is married to Klaus Brugge, a retired policeman. They have 2 adult children. Adeline is the half-sister of Gene Kipler, the head of the Livelihood Committee. The sisters keep in close contact. She has been a member of the party since 1969. Adeline studied at the Philological Faculty in Allstat, but returned home after the 3rd year. She used to be a reporter in the Iron Herald and gained some fame for her interviews. She left the newspaper in 1979 for personal reasons and took a job as a librarian at school number 8, from where she retired. At the moment, she prefers to take care of the grandchildren. Adeline neighbors describe her as a very sociable and pleasant elderly lady. She has no bad habits. Okay. And let's see what Anthony Palm has in store for us. Anthony Palm, 21 years old, blonde hair, tall, has great physical shape by nature, as he says. Non-party, Kentish, born in Iron 1. Anthony received secondary vocational education in a technical school, specialty locksmith. He served in the People's Militia and was discharged at the rank of sergeant. After the Army, Anthony worked as a loader, a seasonal worker, a house painter. He often changes jobs, explaining it as a loss of interest. Palmer has been working as a non-staff officer in the fire committee for the last few months. He received a certificate for his hard work. Anthony is calm, inclined to avoid conflict, but not very sociable. He does not tolerate lies. Palm has no close friends. Anthony takes a great interest in collecting drawings and figurines of foxes. He has a mild speech impediment. Anthony has no bad habits. So I'm guessing. Oh, okay. So they came because of the committees that I chose. So I'm guessing that if I would have chose the integrity committee, I would have got somebody that's more of a brute, so to speak. And if I would have chose the hospital, I guess I would have got a doctor or something like that. Okay. Well, in this particular case, I'm going to choose differently. I chose this last time and it didn't work because I didn't have somebody that was pretty diplomatic. And I don't think these two are diplomatic. So I'm going to, or at least intimidating. I guess I need somebody that's a little bit more intimidating. And in this one, I need somebody who's a bit more buff. I'm guessing he could fill this position, but I'm not going to try it this time. So I'm going to say I see no reason to talk to him. It's better to go directly to the editor-in-chief. And I'm going to send the grandma, since she had some ties there. Great. What does the party want? Regional Committee. Comrade River? Yes, that's me. How could you allow a shortage of essential medical supplies, Francis? Are you trying to start an epidemic? But that's Comrade Beckett's field of expertise, do not shift responsibility. Fighting emergencies like this, as well as providing the city with necessary supplies, is the responsibility of the city committee. It's your duty, and frankly, right now, you are not doing a very good job. I can't be expected to personally. Wonderful. You probably don't even know the specifics of transport logistics in priority development regions. What specifics? They didn't warn me about anything like this, neither at the university nor when I arrived here. Do not waste time on excuses now. Just listen and remember what I have to say. Iron 1 is an essential link in the regional production chain. The products of the metallurgic plant must be distributed every day based on the needs of the towns and regions. They in turn provide Iron 1 with everything it needs. If you have a shortage of any kind of resources on your hands, then you, and only you, are responsible for eliminating it by trading resources. Put the plant on red alert if necessary. Trading resources? Sounds a lot like capitalism. If I were you, I wouldn't criticize the party-approved experimental program, Comrade River. You might earn yourself a reputation of a reactionary element, and we don't want reactionaries in high places. Now go and deal with the current crisis. Nice. So now we have the resource management aspect of this game. So, I'm not really sure about how all this works to a certain degree. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase the output for everything. Okay, arrange the delivery to your neighbors. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to increase the output of everything. And then I'm going to send supplies so I can see if I can get enough. Can I get more oil? Okay. I think that'll be enough. Or at least I hope it'll be enough. Alright. But yeah, there's a resource management aspect to this game too, so a little bit more complex. Yes, Miss Honeypot. Francis, you wanted to leave at 7 and it's almost 8 now. Yes, I wanted, but I have a lot to do. I can't drop everything, can I? But thanks for the reminder anyway. Otherwise, I probably would have stayed sitting here. You're welcome, Francis. I'd like to warn you. There are rumors in the city about some murders. Someone saw a muscle with a scar on his eye. Most likely, these are just foolish things, but nevertheless, be careful. I think if something like this really happened, I would be informed about it. Don't worry. Yeah, keep in mind you weren't even informed about how to do your own job, but yeah, you're gonna be informed about this. Okay? God. And I guess we can go for the day. So got some decreases here, but nothing too bad. Hey dear, are you talking to me? To you? To you? To whom else? Sit down and have a drink with me. You wouldn't say no to a war veteran, would you? Seems that I have little choice. Why is that so? I don't insist. I was going to meet a lovely lady, but it seems that she didn't wait for me. Huh. These nowadays ladies. Mine even waited for me from the war. Let's introduce ourselves better. I'm Ronald Ryan. My name is Francis River. River? What a surname. Are you from the orphanage? No, my grandfather was from the orphanage. He was out of luck. You are too. Why do you take a normal surname in all these years? I don't know. I like my surname. It's unusual and stands me out from the crowd. Yeah, so apparently I'm not sure how different this is, but I think the orphanages kind of work like how bastards are in Game of Thrones, where you had the different, if you were a bastard in certain areas, you had a certain name, like you had Jon Snow, and you had Brendan Rivers because he was born in the Riverlands and such, and so on and so forth, so... In our society, standing out is not accepted, Francis River. Come on, don't be offended. You mentioned that... Just be straight. I hate forced civility. So you were in the war? Well, yes. I fought on the Quarrel Islands. Fulfill my, as they say, international duty to the working people of the world. Yeah, but locals weren't very happy, Frank. Hush, hush. Don't say that. Or what? You hand me over to the political department? No, but... And even if you hand me over, what's the point? They already want to see me in a coffin. And even my medal won't help me. I'm a wasted material. A dependent. A useless tin soldier. Firstly, I lost my retirement. And now... bitches. And now Comrade Snyder will speak to our listeners. Maybe I can help? I am... Hey, Ronald? Hey, what's wrong? The fighting on the Coral Islands showed the full power of our National Orange Militia and Navy. The heroes of our communal fatherland smashed reactionary vermin, which was sinking into the body of the brotherly core people. Ronald? Ronald, what's wrong? He's a little upset. What do these suckers know about the war? What do they know at all? Bitches. Okay. Seems to be a little upset there. Ah, Miss Honeypots. Good morning, Francis. Morning, Helen. What is it that we have today? The city committee received an application for a meeting, which was submitted by the workers' union. Has the secretariat already reviewed it? Yes, the application was in the city committee almost a week. It's moving between departments. Understandable. A week, you say? Well, it could have been worse. Leave it on the table, please. I'll try to sort it out as soon as possible. The municipal services will barely keep up with your pace of work. I'll be a sort of positive example then. Maybe that could increase their efficiency. Hardly. Let's hope. Alright, so We have many things to deal with this time. Let's deal with anything in the city. Let's see if this actually worked this time. The agent made an appointment with the Iron Herald editor-in-chief and tried to convince her that Brody has to be fired. Sarah Chester was surprised and invited him to the office. The agent's actions attracted too much attention, so he had to leave early, but he still achieved some results. At first, the comrade editor tried pretending to be a big deal, but the agent managed to convince him that this time he's in trouble, and no friendship with Sarah Chester would save him from the consequences. As a result, Brody promised to quit through gritted teeth, although he hasn't done that too confidently. A good beating never is useless, Comrade Brody. Let's put up an anonymous poster against Brody next to the editorial office in his home, but it's better not to catch anyone's eye. Let's see here. Somebody sneaky. Somebody sneaky. I don't know about any of these. He could actually beat him. Both of them were in the military, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna try him because I think he has the lock picking skills. Yeah, he was a locksmith, so I'm assuming that he would have to get into some places. I don't second thought, I don't know if that's gonna work. Yeah, I'm gonna try and give him a beating. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'll try. Okay. We have an epidemic problem. Let's see. It seemed like a common cold at first, coughing, fevers, and slight malice, but the illness is proving to be much more dangerous as the patients are starting to show signs of severe complications. The high contagiousness of the new infections has led to the dwindling of resources in the city hospital. The distribution of remaining medical supplies had to be put under government control. The situation is even worse in poor districts as their residents don't have the required connections to receive basic treatment. Okay, I can't deal. It's too low to solve this problem. So what can I do here? I thought I had enough medical stuff, but apparently not. I think I'm good on this. I think I'm good. That should be enough to achieve everything I need to achieve. Here. Alright, so we've solved that problem. Solved that problem. Okay. I don't know if I was supposed to be able to do that, but I think we've solved both of the problems for now. Alright, more things to do and look at. Oh yeah, I remember this. I'm not actually going to read this out completely. Basically, this is about a rally that was going on, and it's more of a technical document as opposed to like an actual I'm writing to you, blase blase type thing like the other letters were. It's just talking about specifics, ID numbers, so on and so forth. The one thing I thought was kind of interesting here is the whole Jack Reed thing. I think Jack Reed was an actual person. I do remember, I think Jack Reed from what I remember, he was in Kaiserreich, the mod for Hearts of Iron 4 that talks about basically what would happen if the German Empire won during World War One. But I think Jack Reed, if I'm not mistaken, was the leader of the socialist faction in the United States, or the totalist faction, I think it was called. And he's basically the leader of that. So if you choose to be on the communist side, or the totalist side as it's called in that world, then Jack Reed is one of the leaders that you can end up choosing. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. I'll approve the rally. Next, I'm writing to you with a request. Your predecessor, Comrade Lechbowski, has given permission for a building of a road which will connect Communal Street and Military Glory Avenue. The problem is that this street will go through the part of the dark forest adjacent to the city. This part is still inhabited with wild animals, foxes, wolves, hares. The construction works will destroy their homes. That's why I asked you to revise the project and redraft it for the preservation of flora and fauna. We should take care of all creations, great and small. I completely agree with you. However, that road might be useful, and it might also help me get more supplies here. So I'm not going to be allowed to turn around and do that. All documents are signed, so it's too late to change anything. Soon it became known that the streets will be named Progress Street. You think that some dozens of wild animals shooted for the workers' safety are nothing compared to the moving towards a bright future. Lord, that English though. Alright, this is from the party's regional committee. We would like to inform you that the upcoming demonstration on Sweat and Steel Day is intended to be the biggest in the 6-year period. In addition to the traditional march, a massive art performance of the school and technical school students about the heroic youth of Comrade Steele is planned. Of course, the performance of such a theme should be perfect. The tiniest imperfections can be the cause of speculation about deliberate ideological diversion. This is not a desirable outcome. It is quite obvious that one needs to allocate sufficient time for the rehearsals to avoid trouble. However, irresponsible teachers and professors refuse to give the students enough time to rehearse on a regular basis. They are making demagogical excuses, saying things about curricula, thereby disrupting the preparation of such an important event. We are already taking the necessary measures on the educational aspect, but you, Francis, must have your own ways of helping us to resolve this misunderstanding. Now, the last time I actually chose to go ahead and go with this, because, the party and so on and so forth. But I think this time I'm going to actually choose not to go along with it. Instead, I'm going to go along with the kids. See what happens. I don't want this to turn into a mini North Korea. You steadfastly refuse to help the regional committee. Meanwhile, the rehearsals for the celebration take place on the weekends. Oof, that was a hit. -20. Jesus. My name is Till Rung. I represent an unofficial association of residents of Iron One who are engaged in art. There are aspiring writers, young artists, and promising musicians among us. It happens so that there are more artists in our midst. I confess I am one of them myself. During the 2 years of the association's activities, we have collected a fair number of artworks. Many of them, in my opinion, are in no way second to universally recognized masterpieces of com art. Sadly, it is very difficult for us to achieve academic recognition. Renowned artists from the metropolitan universities are not too keen on the young and hungry, figuratively speaking, of course, competitors. And the fact that some of these artists do not have formal education does not seem to help, as if it makes any difference. From my perspective, my comrade Casper Groys creates paintings that are much more interesting than those that a good few members of the Union of Artists make. I don't care that he served at the border control instead of studying in college, and now he has to work as a watchman. But today, however, some obsolete and mediocre people occupy entire exhibition halls, while true creators have spent years in obscurity. We're not complaining, surely not. We're ready to earn a place in world art history. By saving a penny from our pathetic paychecks, we have almost managed to save up money for renting a place and hiring maintenance workers. All we need is a tiny push and permission to hold an exhibition. All you have to do, Comrade River, is to make one phone call, put a single signature, and you will save an emerging school of fine arts that our descendants will study in universities. Huh. So I didn't get this last time. So I guess I got this purely because of the choice that I just made. His enthusiasm is worthy of praise, and an additional cultural event will not hurt the city. Let them show their work to people if they want, but I won't give them any money. But a humble young man with an absolutely adequate self-esteem. Denied. Jesus. Okay. His enthusiasm is worthy of praise, and an additional cultural event will not hurt the city. So yeah, sure, why not? You approve the exhibition and provide the necessary funding. Strange works of young artists, some of whom were in their 50s, did not arouse the interest of ordinary citizens, but a few connoisseurs were delighted. I wonder what that means. Hello, Miss Potts. Francis, you've got some documents from the Integrity Division. Thanks, Helen. Also, you have a visitor. He used to be Reed's supporter, but he understood quickly which way the wind was blowing, so he wasn't in danger at all. And I was confused about this. Did I miss something here? I'm guessing some dialogue skipped or something. I don't know. Whatever. He introduced himself as Comrade Strausser. He doesn't seem to be local. And then I'm guessing that was the comment before. I'm not sure. Helen. Okay, Francis. Hello, Comrade Reed. Hi, Frank. Nice to meet you. Meet you too. I didn't expect to see you here. What brings you here? I came here because of Leslie Turner's suicide. She was an honored party worker, and she was also seen as possible successor to the post of Comrade Lechowski. But she bought a rope and soap after your appointment. You always knew how to support someone, Comrade Strausser. Ha! Truth hurts, doesn't it? Okay, that's not why I came. I want to see my beloved alumnus. Good afternoon, Comrade Strausser. Hi, Frank. Hello, Ray. Oh, you got it right, Frank. See you tomorrow, mate. How are you, Comrade Strausser? I heard you are here on a Turner's case. Yes, it's a mere formality, boring stuff. Her adopted daughter claims that Leslie has been very worried about this race for the chair at the head of the city committee. People sometimes just burn themselves out. Comrade Strausser, why would they bother a retiree for such a trifle? I was bored of sitting at home, but that's not an answer to your question. My colleague, an investigator, died not long ago. There were no suitable young candidates, so they offered me to take his place. You liked it, Comrade Strauss, didn't you? Yes, I did. As they say, the party said you have to, or Uner answered it will be done. A bit too old for the Orange Youth Union, Comrade Strausser. It's impolite to say so, Francis. Tell me, how do you like your new appointment? I feel useful. To tell you the truth, my head is spinning because of the amount of cases. I thought that I had finished everything for today, but the Integrity Division just sent something. Oh, I think I know where this is going, Frank. Are you hinting that there's a gig for me? No, Comrade Strausser. I wouldn't want to bother you with such problems. Don't worry, Frank. I'll be happy to help. It's a pleasure for me to work for the benefit of working people. If you need my help, you're welcome. Francis, let's see what you got from the police. I hope it's something interesting. Alright, during the period of 1309-1988 to 1609-1988, 3 episodes of violent deaths to Iron One citizens were identified that have common features. These 3 were murdered. Okay. This case was merged because of the similar nature. Besides, investigator Winifred Loxley. Investigations suggest that it is the work of a serial killer. This conclusion was made on the basis of the obtained data. All the victims were party workers from Iron 1, to be exact, Rudolph Rutt, Carl Fisher, and Arnold Snyder. All the victims had fatal stabs in the chest area caused by the same murder weapon, to be exact, a kitchen knife. All the murders occurred in the Bacers district. All the crimes were registered in the evening, to be exact, 2030 to 2100, 2030 to 2115, 1915 to 2200. Copper jewelry was found near the bodies, to be exact, an amulet, a brooch, and a hair comb. No witnesses or fingerprints were found at the crime scene. Crime scene photos are attached to this document. Investigator Winifred Loxley. Okay. Arnold Snyder, 1609-1988. There's the comb. Okay. And okay. A kitchen knife was beaten on the chest. This bastard must be extremely strong. There's some jewelry near the victims on the photo. That's interesting. Maybe that's a message. Comrade Strausser, Frank, I recognize one of them. I think it belongs to my friend, Elizabeth Fowler. Are you sure? Elizabeth told me that it's handmade. I think it's unique. We're investigating the case just for 5 minutes, but we already have a lead. Okay, you talk to Elizabeth and I'll go to the Integrity Division. Alright, Comrade Strausser. My working day is almost over. Ray, can you wait for me downstairs? I'll come soon. No problem. Well, good luck. Goodbye, Francis. Goodbye. Shady look there. Okay, so I think everything is okay in the city for right now. And I think that's it as far as what documents I have. And as far as what stuff I have, I guess that's okay. I guess the more okay. So yeah, the more I turn that up, I will produce more, but the opinion of the citizens will go down. So need to be careful of that. So I'm just gonna operate as standard for right now. Alright. And let's head out for the day. I lost 19 from the regional. Alright, and that's for the people. I already have it on my wish list, but again, I will leave this down in the description. I'll leave the Steam store link, and if they have any other links, I will leave it down there. But yeah, this was a pretty good demo. The only issues that I have was, again, there was a lot of grammatical errors, and I didn't have any idea what some of the sentences were trying to say, of what type of sense it was trying to make, or something like that. I just don't know. Also, I would like a little bit more background on the world and stuff like that. I don't know anything about the Kentish people or anything like that, so that would have been interesting to know about how this party rose to power. They kind of briefly touched on it in the beginning, but it didn't go into a whole lot of detail. Maybe in the full game, they'll go into more detail about it. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty good. I like that. Also, I would like more explanation of the city management part too, because that really confused me the first time. I think I have enough of an idea to kind of get it, and it's not too difficult to understand, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But again, I would have liked more explanation for that, and so on and so forth. But yeah, outside of grammatical errors, I really do like this. I really like this. It gives me that suzerain feel, and what made that really interesting too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This comes out on August the 13th right now. I think it was supposed to come out a few days ago, but it was delayed to August the 13th. So yeah, but I'll leave the link down in the description. And if you want to check it out, by all means, check it out yourself. Participate in the community. Have fun with it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.